Coming up on State of Events, Paris mourns as a devastating fire swept through Notre Dame.
And find out what sparked controversy on campus this week. State of Events starts now.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Lisa Labrignac.
And I'm Alexandria Hernandez. Let's get down to our top story.
A tragedy in Paris yesterday startled the world after a catastrophic fire swallowed the historic 12th century cathedral, Notre Dame. Flames and smoke covered the French capital and left Parisians and tourists shocked. The blaze collapsed the cathedral spire and spread to one of its rectangular towers. According to Paris Fire Chief Jean-Claude Gallet, says the church's structure has been saved after firefighters managed to stop the fire from spreading to the northern belfry. The exact cause of the blaze is under investigation, and thankfully only one of the 400 firefighters who battled the blaze was injured. Officials say only a small part of the vault collapsed, and the interior of Notre Dame seems relatively untouched. I would call that a miracle.
A prominent anti-abortion display is currently being shown on campus at the Quad. The Center for Bioethical Reform began their presentation yesterday, April 15th, and will continue on to tomorrow. The presentation is called the Genocide Awareness Project and includes graphic anti-abortion displays. There are warning signs leading up to the Quad, but many students were upset. They think that they should not have to find an alternate route to get to class in order to avoid this, and that it did not prepare them at all for what was coming. Because SF State supports and promotes freedom of expression and assembly, all students, the group is entitled to present their materials on campus consistent with SF State campus and faculty policies. Students are expressing their opinion on the explicit material and apparently has already provoked strong reactions on other campuses in the past. If you or someone you know are in need of emotional or psychological support, contact Counseling Psychological Services at 415-338-2208. Reporter Alexis Gonzalez was actually at the scene yesterday to get a closer look into the story. Alexis?
Thank you, Alex. Anti-abortion activists came to SF State yesterday, causing passionate dialogue between protesters and campaign members. I was at the scene and got the chance to speak to both sides. Let's take a look.
And there was no kind of warning, and I don't even think that this should be something that's allowed to be put up here.
Graphic images, a huge crowd, and what seemed like a whole lot of confusion are just some of the things the students came across on their way to class on Monday. Members of Project Truth, working with the Center of the Bioethical Reform, displayed graphic images in support of the Genocide Awareness Project. The display came as a surprise to some students who were not prepared for the messages presented.
And one of the things that bothers me the most about it is the comparison that they're making, that abortion is equivalent to the Holocaust.
CBR is an organization that, through education, works to establish prenatal justice and the right to life for the unborn and vulnerable.
To reach the young people, and well, all people really, and this is a place of education, and we're here to educate people on what abortion is.
Although peaceful dialogue was the focus of the discussion, protesters strongly vocalized their disagreement with the campaign.
And it being done in a way that they want to instigate something, and they want to instigate people, and they really want to make people mad.
But members of the campaign said they just wanted to talk.
Be Socratic and ask questions. Every panel is built on true facts, science, logic, history.
Project Truth has a campus outreach of over 200 colleges. Campaigns usually last 2 days, but campus administration has not confirmed if the campaign will continue.
The campaign is actually scheduled to continue its display until Wednesday, so if this is a sensitive topic for you or you simply don't feel like getting caught in the commotion, make sure to look out for warning signs posted all over campus. That is all I have for you guys today. Back to the ladies at the desk.
In Oakland, a mother and son were killed after being struck in a marked crosswalk by a vehicle. The incident occurred around 7:30 p.m. at the intersection of 26th Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. 30-year-old Alma Vasquez and her 6-year-old son, Angel Garcia, were hit by a two-door Mercedes-Benz that quickly fled the scene. Authorities found the vehicle in another part of the city, but the suspect has not been caught.
Next on State of Events, tourists may now have to pay to drive down one of the world's most crookedest streets.
And then a scabies outbreak leaves a dozen buses out of service. Stay tuned.
When it's time to choose healthcare for your teen, you want the best. When it's time for your teen's questions to be answered, you want a professional you can trust. At Valencia Health Services, your time is well spent. We provide professional, quality healthcare. Valencia Health Services, dedicating quality time to professional healthcare because your teen's health is our first priority. Valencia Health Services, quality time because we care.
A fix is in the works to deal with the big backup of cars for San Francisco's famous Crooked Street. Assemblyman Phil Ting is proposing charging drivers for making their trip down Lombard Street, $5 on weekdays and $10 on weekends. Following the fee, the legislation would also begin a reservation program, which means drivers will have to reserve spots in advance in order to go down the crooked part of Lombard. It's one of the most famous streets in the entire country and on average gets about 2 million visitors each year. Assemblyman Phil Ting says that he is proud that people come from all over the world to visit San Francisco, but he has to be accurately aware of how it impacts residents, which is really the idea behind the proposed bill. If your commute includes the use of a Ford Go Bike, you may have to find an alternative for the time being. Ford Go Bike, which is owned and operated by Lyft, has pulled all of its on-demand electric bicycles from New York, Washington, and the San Francisco Bay Area. The reason? The company says it's received reports of braking issues with the bikes. Riders are saying the brakes on the front wheel are stronger than expected, which could potentially cause a cyclist to flip over the handlebars of the bicycles. Lyft currently operates about 20,000 regular and electric bikes in 3 cities. Until Lyft's engineering firm figures out what's causing the supposed performance problem, the electric bicycles will remain locked.
The Richmond-San Rafael Bridge has been forced to close twice in the last 2 months. Highway Patrol issued an alert Friday after concrete reportedly fell from the upper deck, striking a vehicle. Crews performed emergency road work and inspectors were also on the scene. Caltrans say that the bridge is structurally sound and after an inspection there was no evidence of falling concrete. They suggest it may have been pothole debris that caused the damage.
United Airlines extends cancellation of all 737 MAX flights through early July following similar moves by Southwest and American Airlines. After the 2 fatal crashes overseas, the Federal Aviation Administration ordered all 737 MAX planes to ground. United said it has used spare aircraft and other creative solutions since March to help minimize the impact on customers. The reason for extending the cancellation to early July is because it's the peak of the busy summer travel season, and during that time it is harder to make changes. United Airlines goes on to say that they will not put their customers and employees on that plane until regulators give them the okay that it is okay to do so.
Trump's controversial transgender military policy took effect on Friday. Anyone with gender dysphoria that is taking hormones or has already undergone a gender transition will not be allowed to enlist in the military. Under the new policy, current troops diagnosed with gender dysphoria will have to serve in their sex as assigned at birth and will be barred from taking hormones or transitioning. The Department of Defense claims that this new law is in no way a ban. At this time, there are 4 pending lawsuits against the policy.
Morehouse College, a historically black all-men school in Atlanta, has adopted a new policy. The school will begin admitting transgender students who identify as male in 2020. The new policy, known as the Gender Identity Admissions and Matriculation Policy, was developed after 15 months of community exchanges with faculty, staff, and students. The policy also states that students admitted into Morehouse are expected to self-identify as men throughout their education. Should a student transition from a man to a woman, the student would no longer be eligible to enroll. The Full House actress Lori Loughlin pleaded not guilty yesterday in the college admissions scandal. Her and her husband, Mossimo Giannulli, continue to face conspiracy charges for being accused of paying $500,000 to a fake charity, which then helped get their 2 daughters accepted into the University of Southern California. A federal court filing entered Monday shows the 2 also waived their right to appear in court for arraignment on the second superseding indictment. Loughlin was one of the 16 others who pleaded not guilty. The next day, all 16 were charged with an additional count of money conspiracy to commit money laundering.
In other news, New Jersey becomes the 8th state to legalize medically assisted suicide for the terminally ill. The law gives doctors and healthcare systems until August 1st to prepare for the new policy. Governor Phil Murphy signed the bill that allows adults with a prognosis of 6 months or less to get a prescription for life-ending medication. Patients who do choose this option must be capable of requesting and administering the drug to themselves. Some hospitals who are religiously affiliated may choose not to participate in the new policy. In Santa Clara, the Valley Transportation Authorities put a dozen buses out of service following a scabies outbreak. 4 bus drivers contracted the skin infection over the weekend. 12 buses from routes 22, 522, 55, and 88 were taken out of service because they had come in contact with infected drivers. The VTA has hired an exterminator to clean all 130 buses. Next on State of Events, will the Bay Area see sunny days all week? Reporter Ashley Loaiza will be here to give us an update.
And what sports have some of the most severe injuries? The answer may surprise you. Find out more next.
There are many important days in your child's life. Their first birthday, their first big game, their first day of school. Choosing the right school for your child sets them on a path for success. Apply on time. It's for your family's future.
No matter how much you give, every cent donated can turn into something useful. Take part in building homes. Take part in building hope. Habitat for Humanity, Greater San Francisco, building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Claudia is a pre-med student in search of a global health experience. She desires a program abroad that provides cultural immersion. Claudia wants a credible program that affirms her interest in the medical field. Most importantly, she seeks an international, community-based health program. Claudia finds herself with Child Family Health International. How will you distinguish yourself? Visit cfhi.org.
Now we have the Priest Report, where reporter Zach Priest was out talking to Giants fans about the recent decline in ticket sales.
What's going on, guys? Zach Priest here with another edition of the Priest Report. I'm out in front of newly renamed Oracle Park, where it may not seem like it, but attendance is down. The lowest, actually, it's been since 2010. So I'm here to talk to some fans about what they think the reason is behind the low attendance and how they feel about it. Let's get going.
My dad owns like a portion of season tickets, so I'm still gonna, every year I'll be here. Like,
I mean, if I get a chance to come to a game, if they're bad, if they're good, you know, it's a major league ball game and it's a great park, so I'll come regardless.
I think the Giants were just that good and people got used to that, but I think people need to be a bit more empathetic and understand that, you know, it comes in cycles and it's ebbing and it's flowing. Sometimes you do great, but you should just stick with the team.
And you got to root for your hometown, and you got to root no matter whether they're winning or losing, because the Giants are on a little bit of a fire right now, so they're gonna pull it out. We're gonna have lots of big crowds here over the next few months.
Other fans are finding a silver lining in the low attendance rates.
You know, it's probably going to become more because now it's easier to get tickets.
So. Well, there you have it, folks. Seems like these fans are staying faithful whether the Giants are doing good or bad. Well, that's all I have for this week's Priest Report. Reporting to you from San Francisco's Oracle Park, I'm Zach Priest.
How can football's concussion scandal help other sports handle injuries? Nicole has more on what should be done in the sports world.
If anyone asks you what is the most dangerous sport, most people would say football. I have to warn you guys though, some of this video is graphic and is going to be tough for little kids to watch. Because of the concussion scandal, it has received so much media attention, and for good reasons, that it seems to be extremely dangerous. It definitely is dangerous, and the attention it did receive was so powerful it helped change the NFL in regards to head injuries. But there are so many other sports out there that are even more unsafe and do not receive enough attention. MMA is ranked as the second most dangerous sport. Fighters receive so many strikes to the head, they are prone to lacerations, blowout fractures, hematomas, and concussions. MMA is a recently new sport, so no long-term effects are known at this point, but may indicate CTE. Wrestling, which is a full-on contact sport, faces head injuries, knee injuries, shoulder sprains, and skin infections. Gymnastics recently made the news for Auburn's Samantha Serio graphic double leg injury. Other gymnastics injuries include spinal fractures, herniated disc, cartilage damage, wrist fractures, ACL tears, and the list continues. All of these sports have one major thing in common. They receive little to no coverage regarding the severity of injuries and what to do to change that. Unfortunately, someone has to get severely injured to receive media attention. We are all aware that any sport can cause an injury, but severity of these injuries and the lasting effects is what is the primary concern. We saw with football the impacts head injuries have on its players, and it's now any day we will find out the effects for MMA fighters, wrestlers, gymnasts, and every other sport that is looked past. While these sports may not be the most popular, they deserve the same kind of regulations that were imposed on the NFL. It is one small step for the sports community and hopefully one very impactful one soon.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you will know what's going on campus this week. Here's Karen Alacon with more.
Hi, I'm Karen, and while many of you guys are worried about national elections, you should also be worried about local elections such as AS. Associated Student serves as the voice of student interest and promotes an enriched co-curricular university life experience.
AS elections voting period starts from Monday, April 15th to Thursday, April 18th, and voting ends at midnight.
In the previous years, we haven't had such a good voter turnout, so one of our main goals is to have students actually vote.
Problems on campus that we need to address head on.
Aside from encouraging students to vote, I was able to talk to some of the running candidates.
As a first-generation Colombian American, I think it's really important that communities of color and low-income communities, their voices are being heard and their stories are being held in these conversations that we're having.
I do believe women should have a seat on the table, especially at Cal State Student Association, which we do pay a $2 fee for.
I want to amplify student voices and make sure all students and people are heard within the process, whether that be in AS elections, whether that be the 2035 campus plan or the university presidential search.
Increasing classes that are available to students in the HSS college, because a lot of students do stay 4+ years, and that's very unfortunate to
tuition is very expensive, so I want to make sure that classes are available to the students. I know it's going to be hard, but it's definitely something I'm going to advocate for. My second goal is to have more counselors available to the students for the mental health. Unfortunately, we do not have enough counselors to help with our mental health, and that is very crucial. And my third goal is to help the campus become more
to be filmed or recorded said they didn't even know it was election season. Check out the AS website to vote. I'm Karen Alarcon for State of Event.
Looks like Simon the Sun is back just in time for Easter. Here's Ashley Loeza with the weather report.
Good afternoon and happy Tuesday. We are back with another 7-day weather forecast, this time with the week leading up to Easter Sunday. And let me tell you right off the bat that we are getting some pretty good weather in this week. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Today, Tuesday, we are getting temperatures at 65 degrees for high temperatures with low temperatures at 49 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny. Wednesday, we are getting temperatures at 65 degrees. We're seeing an increase there. And our good friend Simon the Sun is making an appearance. Thursday, we are getting more high temperatures at 71 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny with low temperatures at 53 degrees. Now let's take a look at Friday. Temperatures are going to significantly decrease at 65 degrees with Simon the Sun and Carl the Fog joining forces to give you a partly cloudy day. Saturday, temperatures continue to decrease at 63 degrees, again partly cloudy. Sunday is going to be sunny at 64 degrees, and we will get into more detail on that. And Monday is going to be a mostly sunny day at 65 degrees with low temperatures at 52 degrees. So it's going to be pretty good. And for our pollen report, it's allergy season. So our top allergens are oak, mulberry, and grasses. And this is a 10-point scale right here with Tuesday, 5.8 out of 10. We're getting those medium levels there. But then let's take a look at our next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 9.7 out of 10 for Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday it's 9.6 out of 10. Very high levels right there. So if you have allergies, definitely be aware of that. Now take a closer look into our Sunday forecast. Again, Sunday is going to be 64 degrees. It's going to be a cool morning with winds at 13 miles per hour and gusts at 31 miles per hour. It's going to be a mostly sunny day with clear skies. Perfect weather for your Easter Sunday, so definitely take advantage of that. And now that is all for your forecast of the week. Tweet us at State of Events. I want to hear from you guys. What are you doing on this Easter Sunday and taking advantage of this weather? That is all for you guys today. Hope you guys have a happy, safe, and fun Easter. Lisa and Alexandria, back to you.
I'm so looking forward to that weather on Sunday.
I'm excited. We definitely need this sun.
Yeah, it calls for a good Easter.
All right, that is all we have for this week. To stay updated with all things Gators news, follow us on our social media platforms.
And visit our website at stateofevents.net.
I'm Lisa Lebrignac.
And I'm Alexandria Hernandez. Have a great week.